radio, it's about connection between you and the listener. And I always take it back to the days while I was still young and I was still listening to radio in my bedroom.
Yeah.
I always picture myself as a listener.
Yeah.
And I take it back to those days, because then it's either you connect or you don't connect.
Yeah.
You know? And once you don't connect, you just become, like, radio just becomes an object that's just playing music and it's in the background.
Yeah. Like
You know?
white noise.
White noise.
And how does Metro come on board?
Metro comes on board. I was still at 90.6. And my program's manager back then, Leo Mani, that's the man who actually discovered me.
Okay.
He heard me on 90.6, and he gave them a call. You know, he gave the station a call to say, look, I heard this guy, and I would like to chat to him. You know. And luckily, they also didn't do any gatekeeping. They told me that, listen, there's a Leo Mani who wants to talk to you from Metro. And so I gave him a call.
Talk to me about the different phases and how important that is, because, like we said, from campus radio to community to such a big station as Metro FM, but even then, you're still given the graveyard shift and you have to work on your craft and perfect yourself. So even when you have made it, you still have to prove yourself. How important is it that you perfect your craft with such slots? Because you can take it for granted that, who's even listening? Because I can imagine when you want to be a radio DJ, you're always thinking about either 3 to 6 or in the morning 6 to 9.
Yes. Look, it's very important, because I think for me, that's what keeps me going till this day.
Obviously, the love movement, like I said, is quite genre specific. You're talking about the blues, soul. And South Africans consume a lot of that.
Yes.
They love R&B. We love R&B. And I guess this is why the legacy acts from back then come and tour in South Africa, because there is still demand and an appetite for that. Yeah, but I think the most ironic thing, though, is that the genre, in terms of us producing it as an R&B artist, it's not a lot.
No.
Why do you think that is?
I also don't know why, but I know there's quite a couple of South African artists who are excellent when it comes to soul and R&B.
What's up, everybody? Welcome to another episode of What's Art. And in studio today, I have the man behind the jams, Sentle Lehoko. Welcome.
You say that so well. How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm good. Thank you so much.
Thank you for being with us. So, what's crazy is that I told you prior to the interview that I've been a big fan of yours ever since I was little, right?
Yeah.
I think most people can relate, the younger generation can relate with their moms, their dads tuning into Metro FM, the love movement.
Yeah.
But I've listened to you even before the Romantic Repertoire, right?
Okay.
And to me, it's radio DJs always had this mystique, right?
Yeah.
Before the age of the internet.
Yes.
And I guess it also speaks to your, what do we call it? Do we say a slogan? The man behind the jams.
Yes.
Because it gives this mystique that who is this person?
Yeah.
But in the age of the internet, you get to actually Google, search, or follow this person. Do you think that has sort of kind of affected the way we had this allure about radio and radio DJs?
Yeah, because I think I don't know whether it's in a good or a bad way. Because I remember back then you would get introduced to the voice first.
Yeah.
And you would either love or hate the voice.
Yeah.
But then you wouldn't have the face, so you would know the voice, and the voice is all you had to work with until maybe you buy a drum magazine or a U magazine and they have this feature on this person that you listen to on a daily basis, and then you can finally put the face behind the voice. You know what I mean? So off late, obviously with the internet, obviously with social media,
Yeah.
that has changed.
has.
But you hear the voice, you know the face.
You know,
In some
yeah.
cases, you actually get to know the face before you even get to know the voice. Yeah.
Correct.
So yes, it has changed it a bit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, I feel so sorry for people that never had to experience that, because it was such a cool exercise to me to be like, oh, is this the person?
Yes.
Yeah,
Yes.
like it's
Yes.
it's actually quite. I think it's a beautiful experience, but it's unfortunate. As time evolves, things change.
I've actually heard that it's for most people it's a shocking experience. It was a shocking experience
Yeah.
to finally meet this person that you
Yeah.
always listen to, because obviously most of the time back then I would hear a voice, and then the
Draw up your own
the
image.
brain being the brain, it does its
Yeah,
own magic,
yeah.
and then you have your own image of this person. You even
Yes.
have the height, and whether they are light skinned, they are dark skinned, and then the day you finally get to meet them, you literally get the shock of your life.
Yeah, you're like, this is not what I drew up in my
Exactly,
mind at
that's
all.
what I had. Yeah. It has
And
always been
perhaps
the
maybe
case.
the term of a face for radio came for that.
Yeah, that's
This is
true.
like, oh, okay, well, I didn't know. I didn't know
Yeah.
what to expect.
Yeah.
But let's take it back a bit. So, you're from the Val.
Yes.
And funny enough, I actually thought that you got introduced to television during your tenure as a radio DJ. But you said that you got introduced to television before you got introduced to radio.
Yeah, the love of radio had always been there.
Mm-hmm.
But coming from the Val, you always had to find a way
Mm-hmm.
to make things work. When you're in the Val, especially back then, the only way to get into media, or the only way to get into radio, was for you to be at the SABC, because SABC has always been
Yeah.
the groundwork for most
Yeah.
of us in
Yeah.
in broadcasting. So I had to find ways to bring me closer to radio. And while I was growing up, there was a lady in my neighborhood. I got to know her very well, Sibulelo Makonyane. She cracked it, and she started doing sports bars. And for the first time, after a very long time, like the first person that I knew to make it on TV in the Val was Abuti Dostonoke.
Oh, yes.
He was he was
Yes.
in my era, he was the first person that I could
I didn't
watch
know
TV.
he was from the Val.
Yeah, he was the first person that I could
Awesome.
watch TV and be able to bump into him. It was him. And then later on, I think I was like in what, grade 10, which was back then standard 8. I got to know Sibulelo. And I got to know Sibulelo before she got onto TV, and she did it. She started doing sports bars, and it was such an inspiration for me to say, wow, this thing is really possible,
Yeah.
And I got to know her. Amazing human being.
Yeah.
And she taught me so much, and she inspired me. And I said, you know what, I'm gonna go ahead and do it.
Yeah.
Because when I spoke to her about it, she was definitely not what we know as a gatekeeper. She was like, listen, the world is yours.
Yeah.
If you want to do this thing, you must do it.
Yeah, I don't have to be the only person.
Exactly.
from the
If you
Val
want to
that
do
made
this
it.
thing,
Yeah.
that made it. If you want to do this thing, you must do it. And I went for it. And she took me, every step in terms of finding an agency,
Yeah.
how to go about it. And I would literally watch sports bars every Friday and be inspired with what she was doing, which was absolutely amazing. So then I started attending auditions.
Yeah.
After I did my training with my agency, I started attending auditions, and I remember my first job that I got was a TV ad. I did a TV ad, got it, we recorded it, and I knew exactly when, what time, and when it was going to play, and I would watch it. And I promise you, seeing yourself on TV for the first time is the most horrible thing ever, because you think, what am I doing?
What is this?
What am I doing? But then, the more stuff and the more productions that you do, and the more you get exposed to a lot of things, and obviously working with other people, you get better.
For sure.
Yeah.
Absolutely. So when does you said you always actually loved radio,
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
What is it that drew you to radio? Who are some of those people that you listened to and they were such an inspiration and you wanted to be like these people?
The first time I got introduced to radio, funny enough, the first station that I ever listened to was Metro FM.
That's insane.
Yeah, it was Metro FM.
Wow.
I remember before Metro there was a radio bop. I was too young back then
I
to
also
know
just
about
hear
radio.
about it
Exactly,
from you radio
exactly,
people.
I was too young back then to listen to radio, but I know that there was a radio bop.
Yeah.
But the first station that I got introduced to that was inspiring, it was Metro FM. And I remember the first time when I got my first radio set.
Yeah.
I would have that radio on 24/7 and go to bed listening to Metro FM.
Yeah.
If it happens that I wake up at 2 o'clock in the morning,
You're
it would be
listening.
it would be on Metro.
Yeah.
When I wake up first thing in the morning, Bob Mabena is on with Tracy going on the Morning Glory.
I was about to ask, who are some of those people that you are listening to?
Yeah, Bob Mabena. Bob Mabena did that show with Tracy going the Morning Glory. Back then, I would just say I love Morning Glory. I had no idea what's the other meaning of a Morning Glory. But I loved Morning Glory. You know what I mean? So I would listen to that, and then obviously later on in the years, 9 to 12, mid morning. It was done by Bertha Charoma. I would listen to her, especially if I didn't go to school. I would listen to her. So for me, radio would be my day. And to such an extent that I'd be at school, and I'm like, now I'm gonna miss out on the 9 to 12.
Wow.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And okay, but at least I can get the last hour of the 12 to 3 show. At that time, it was Vusile Zwalo. So when I'm done at school, I would literally rush home so that at least I can catch the last hour of the lunch show. And then from there, then I know from 3 to 6, you have Glenn in the afternoon.
Yeah.
So that's how radio was for me.
It's funny because back then I probably was too young to know or too young to listen to radio. I'm not sure. But when you mentioned Glenn, it's so interesting that he has been doing this for so long because
for
3
quite a
to
while.
6, he did it as well with Unati.
Yes.
And that's when I started really being more
Of a radio listener.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But then I didn't know that he did a 3 to 6 prior.
Oh no, he also did. I remember, I think when he first came to Metro FM, he did the breakfast show. He took over Bob Mabena in the morning, which I was not happy about because I love Bob Mabena in the morning with Tracy going with the Morning Glory. But then that's when I got introduced to the whole thing that slots do change. They'll move one person there, and or there'll be a person who will leave that station and go elsewhere. So yeah, Glenn did that breakfast show.
It's interesting. It's very interesting to this day.
Yeah.
I still have the 3 to 6 with Kaya.
Yeah.
So, you told me an interesting story prior saying that I was sort of kind of like mocking you to say, radio and TV people, when they were younger, they always used to think that there's a person behind the literal radio or TV. And that was your story too.
Yeah. Let me tell you the story.
Tell me.
So I got my first radio set while I was still, like, I think I just finished primary school going to high school. And it was one of those jam blasters where you'd have one tape deck and then from there the CD deck on top, you know. And I loved it because now even the love for music started then because now I would listen to radio. If that thing was not on Metro 24/7, the only time it was not on Metro is because I'm playing a song or I've just bought a CD of a song that I heard on Metro.
Can I just interject? Did your mom know that you love music and radio so much? Or she just bought you that?
No, she just bought me that because I asked for it. I asked for it, but she had no idea that it would take me here.
Yeah.
And-
Did it
and-
become evident to her as you were busy with this thing?
Yes,
all
it
day,
became
every
evident
day?
because now here you are, you've got a boy who's always locked up in his
Yeah,
room,
yeah.
and all he does is listen to radio,
Yeah.
whether he's studying, whether he's because it came to a point where I couldn't study
My
in a
goodness.
quiet room. I
Yeah.
couldn't. There has to be a radio or something on or
Wow.
music
Yeah,
playing
yeah.
for me to be able to concentrate. So it became evident that the love for music is there.
Yeah.
But I don't think to her it was obvious that it's actually the love for radio, you know. So I had this radio, and this radio became my company. You know, if I don't have friends over or if I'm not out there playing,
It's you and
this
the
radio became my company. And it
Yeah.
came to a point where if I'm not listening, I would feel that I'm missing out on so much.
Wow. Yeah.
And like I would come back from school and I wonder what did I miss out on? You know what I mean? Because it was quite informative, it was quite entertaining,
Yeah.
and I loved it, and it had that connection for me.
For real.
So one day, I'm on a school break. I'm at home. I wake up. The radio is on. I'm listening to Bob and Tracy going, and come 9 o'clock, the show ends. News, then the beginning of another show, you know? And I'd always have that sense of sadness when the show ends and
Yeah.
you need to move
Yeah.
to another show. And I thought to myself, I'd love to see these guys. You know, I'd love to see them,
Yeah.
you know? I knew Bob Mabena because Bob Mabena was in studio mix
Yeah.
back then. So I figured, no, man, I'd love to see these guys, you know? I remember, I think it was Ike Pashle who was doing that 9 to 12. And I thought to myself, I'd love to see these guys, you know? And I'm like, but they're here. They're here. Why don't I make a plan to see them? You know?
Sure, yeah.
So I went to the garage, looked for a star screwdriver,
Okay.
came back, took this thing, turned it around. So, okay, there's screws here and there. I'm like, okay, cool. And funny enough, I did all that. The radio was still playing.
Wow.
Yeah. So this person is in here.
Yeah.
Yeah. Unscrewed that thing, unscrewed. And then up until I got to the last one.
Okay.
And when I finally removed it and the other half came off, so it literally opened up,
Okay.
it went quiet.
Huh.
Okay. In my head, I'm thinking, oh, so now you know that I'm here. Now you've been quiet.
That's crazy. Yeah.
Opened it, came across a lot of wiring. Opened this thing up, checked, nothing.
Are you looking for tiny people when you're
I don't know what I'm looking for, but I'm looking for someone. This
Yeah.
person that's been keeping me entertained all this
is
time
in here?
is in there. You know? So I think I'm literally expecting to see a studio
Wow.
when I opened this thing.
Yeah.
And there was just a lot of wiring.
Wow.
And you're like, okay.
Did it dawn on you?
Well, it dawned on me that, okay, there's nothing here
Yeah.
except wiring. But now, this thing is quiet. And I realized that I need to put this thing back.
Back together.
Exactly. So now the focus shifted from looking for whatever that I was looking for. Now the focus is I need to put this thing together
Yeah. Whoa.
ASAP. So then I started, tried putting this thing together. I couldn't put this thing together,
Yikes.
and I thought to myself, I need to put this thing together before my mom comes back from work. You know,
So you're gonna get a whooping.
Exactly.
Because what were you doing?
exactly. So I did somewhat put it together, but it was definitely not a puzzle that came together. You know what I mean? But also the biggest thing, it was not
Playing
working.
anymore, yeah.
Yeah. So I did put it together. But on the side, you can see there's a gap,
This
and you
was
can see that
tampered
it was
with,
exactly,
yeah.
you know. So then I said, okay, so what do I do now? I said, okay, cool, let me keep quiet, and I'll work on it as time goes. But now with my frustration of going from one day, second day,
Not
without this thing
hearing
playing and not
radio,
hearing.
yeah.
You know what I mean? And I figured to myself, you know what? I need to let her know
Yeah,
that there's
I
something wrong with
messed
this
up.
thing, and I need to get another one. You know?
Yeah.
So I told her to say, "Hey, Mama, this radio is not playing. I'm not sure what the issue is."
Oh, you didn't tell her
No,
that you are the
no,
reason?
no. So I said it's not playing, and I'm not sure what the issue is. You know? So as a parent, she went to see what the issue. Her thinking maybe there's a loose
fell.
plug or
Oh, okay.
something like that. Oh, at first glance, she realized that this thing was tempered.
Yeah.
She's like, so what happened here?
Yeah.
And I told the truth. And I said,
I was
I
looking for
opened it
Bob.
because I was looking for Bob. And while I was opening it, it just stopped playing. It never played back then. Oh, when my mom heard that.
The Dreamstream Studios in Randburg is a full-service studio on Bramfisher Drive. It's perfectly suited for podcasts, music recordings, and general video recordings. Being backed up by an experienced editing production team means you can walk in, record, and walk out knowing that everything you need will be done. Dreamstream mobile gear ensures that you can cover your video and live streaming needs on location too. They've got the cameras, the lights, and the action to make you and your brand shine. Contact Dreamstream on studio@dreamstream.co.za and they'll make the magic happen. Dreamstream, a place to create yourself. What did she say?
Didn't say much.
What did she do?
She just went, came back with a belt.
Oh no.
And it was a whole thing of, I spend my hard-earned money
Oh my gosh.
buying you something. You go ahead. And I suppose for her it was the most ridiculous thing that
Yeah, that
she
you were
heard,
looking for
that I'm
people.
looking
You
for
should-
people
you
and
think
now
she
I broke.
She just didn't.
Exactly, yeah.
she-
And I got a hiding.
My goodness.
I got a good hiding.
Did you finally realize after getting a hiding that there is no such thing? Because how she reacted was,
Yes, and for me it was at that point where I went to bed. I'm crying. No radio. Radio is not working. But then I realized that what hurt me the most was the fact that I don't have a radio anymore, and I don't know if I'm ever gonna get to it because my mom, she's mad. She's like, how sa hlola ever
"Ke re ka o
how sa
thusa."
hlola
Kgantsa ha o thusege wena.
how sa hlola ba na le radio up. So
Yeah.
so that's what got to me. One. Secondly, I was like, I got a hiding because I wanted to see somebody inside the radio, and I decided there and then that this hiding can't be. I can't get such a hiding in vain. I'm gonna do this thing. That's when I decided that, come what may, I'm gonna get inside the radio
Wow.
and I'm gonna do it.
And you did it.
And that's how the bike literally got me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And you are right. Literally,
Yeah.
it did.
Literally, that's how it got me.
Yeah.
So we managed to get that radio fixed.
Okay.
And it went back on.
Okay.
And now I was listening to radio, but I was listening to radio with a different ear, understanding that there is no one there. But
That's sad.
but now here I am. I'm still entertained.
Yeah.
And I found myself being more in love with radio.
loved it, yeah.
And that's when I first realized that actually radio is got a whole lot to do with the imagination. Yeah.
It really does.
Yeah.
Because it goes back to what we were saying, even when you are listening to Sentle, if you don't know Sentle, you draw up your own imagination.
Your own
right?
imagination of
and
of
even
who
these things that
Sentle
they're
is.
talking about.
Yeah,
You start
exactly.
imagining. It's like reading a book,
Yeah,
basically.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
So, fine. You realize that I love radio so much,
Mm-hmm.
and finally you get into campus radio.
Yes.
At Wits Tech, if
Yes,
I'm not
yes,
mistaken.
yes.
How did that come about?
I finished matric and went to study at back then it was called TWR,
Okay.
Technical Witwatersrand.
Okay.
And it's my first time coming to Joburg, and I went to the Auckland Park campus, and it was by luck that the course that I was studying was there, because you have the Doornfontein campus,
Yes.
but I came to the Auckland Park campus, and the excitement of getting there, and every time I would enter the campus, I would see the SABC building, like it's like literally here,
Yeah.
like it's here. You know what I mean? So I knew even while studying that I want to go there, but it was always a question of how, So when I first found out that there is a campus radio at the campus, in fact, they wanted to start one.
Okay.
I was the first one to say, "Oh no, my hand is up.
So they
I
were
wanna do it."
they
It
were
was starting.
establishing
They were
it.
establishing it.
Okay.
They had the license. So I went there, And when I got there, I was like, I want to do this thing. I'm keen to do this thing, And they were like, yeah, you can, but we are not ready to go on air yet. So it was a matter of, you can come through. There's a studio. You can come through, do your show, if you're able to record your show, and so that by the time we are ready to go on air, you're good to go.
You're ready.
Yeah. And I would literally have a certain time in the day where I would go in there and do my show. To me, it didn't matter whether we were on air or not.
Just doing it.
It didn't matter. Just for the mere fact that I'm
Yeah.
walking inside the studio, there's a mic, there's music, great.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And you perfected your skills.
And I'm not even sure if I perfected it there, but
But I mean, it was practice.
yes, it was practice,
Yeah.
and for the first time being in front of the mic and like literally pressing on, and that light is going red. You're like, oh my God, this is it, So I did that, and I know I did that for a while. I think for about a year or so, and then while I was doing that, then I found out that there was a community radio station in the Val, called 90.6 FM. And guess how I found out about that radio station? Sibulelo got onto that radio station
Oh.
because she
full
started doing
circle.
radio. Exactly.
Yeah.
So I said, I want to try this thing.
Yeah.
Like, no, come through. I'll introduce you to the station manager. And so I went ahead and met everyone there for the first time, and I told them that, look, I want to do this thing. I'm already doing campus radio. I'm good to go. They were like, oh, hold on. You can't go on airs yet.
Okay.
We'll have to train you. I know, what do you mean train me? We'll have to train you.
Like, I've been
And first then
training.
I didn't understand
Yeah.
what they meant in terms of training. But I was I'm glad that I went through that training. And even then, back then, 90.6 FM was like your 947. I listened to Metro. Here I am, I get to a radio station. It's a predominantly white radio station. They are playing your Blackstreet Boys. They are playing Westlife. And I'm like, what is this?
Yeah. This is a foreign
Yeah,
concept.
there's a full, they're playing Britney Spears. I'm like, what? But then I had to I had to learn and understand that this is what radio is. Radio, it's got to do with music, but it's not only based on a certain genre of
very
music.
adaptable.
Exactly. So you need to adapt. So that's when I got to learn, and I got the station manager there, who trained me, and they trained me well. Yeah. They trained me well, and I got to understand. Radio, and the business side of radio. That is not only about playing music. It's not only about entertaining, but there's also the business side of it.
For sure.
Yeah.
And I know right after that you went to Metro FM, right?
Yeah.
But I want you to highlight how important it is to actually make use of radio on campuses and community radio, how important it is as an upcoming or a person that wants to be in radio to make use of those resources.
Yes.
And yeah.
It's very important.
Yeah.
Because that's your foundation. That's your foundation.
Yeah.
And I'm glad that I was always game for starting from from the bottom. You know, I remember I met Vusi Lutswalo, and I told him about my dream, how I want to be at Metro, and he said, well, you can, but you're still young, you know, and being at a station like Metro FM can actually either start your career, you can take off, but it can also kill your career.
How old were you at the time?
I must have been, what, 17, 16?
Oh, you were young.
Yeah, I was very young, you know. And I remember even before I got to 90.6, I knocked on different doors in terms of community radio station. I remember at some point I even went to Josie FM. I wanted to do Josie FM so badly, but it just didn't work out.
And how does Metro come on board?
Metro comes on board. I was still at 90.6. And my programs manager back then, Leo Mani, that's the man who actually discovered me.
Okay.
He heard me on 90.6, and he gave them a call. You know, he gave the station a call to say, look, I heard this guy, and I would like to chat to him. You know. And luckily, they also didn't do any gatekeeping. They told me that, listen, there's a Leo Mani who wants to talk to you from Metro. And so I gave him a call. And wow.
The rest is history.
Yeah,
basically.
wow. The rest. You know, when you've had a dream and you've had this dream for a long time to say, I want to do this and I'm going to do it. The next thing, bam, now the dream is here.
Jeez.
And I remember when he told me that, you know, he would like to give me like a training slot, which was like 12 to 2 on a Saturday and Sunday morning. I worked with Fed Joe's younger brother, Lebo.
Okay.
He's the guy that I worked with at Metro FM when I was doing my training. Lovely guy, and we had so much fun. But every time I would like literally get to the SABC, I'd literally start shaking.
Literally, you are in your dream.
Yes, I'm
living
like
your dream.
I'm like living it. It's here, you know. But then because you are still doing training, you are well aware that it could go either way. You might crack it, you might not crack it. Yeah.
But then now, talk to me about the different phases and how important that is, because, like we said, from campus radio to community to such a big station as Metro FM, but even then you're still given the graveyard shift and you have to work on your craft and perfect yourself. So even when you have made it, you still have to prove yourself. How important is it that you perfect your craft with such slots? Because you can take it for granted that, who's even listening? Because I can imagine when you want to be a radio DJ, you're always thinking about either 3 to 6 or in the morning 6 to 9.
Yes. Look, it's very important, because I think for me, that's what keeps me going till this day. You know, I haven't reached the ceiling. I haven't reached my limit. No, every day I learn something. You know, every day you realize something that you either took for granted, and obviously the more you get exposed to other radio DJs, the more you get exposed to other radio personalities. You learn from them as well. You know, you learn from them. You learn in terms of how they do radio or what's supposed to be done. Sometimes you'll learn great things. Sometimes you'll learn terrible things. But you learn. It's a learning experience throughout.
Yeah.
And it's what you learn over the years that will later on sustain you.
Correct.
And give you longevity in this industry.
Yeah.
So I often find it that sometimes if you want to do radio, but you don't want to build a strong foundation, it becomes tricky. Yeah, it becomes tricky. That's where you'd feel that if you were doing, let's say, a breakfast show, and then you were doing a breakfast show, and then all of a sudden now you are moved to a 12 to 3 or a nighttime show, you'd feel that it's a demotion. It's not. It's not, and it's that foundation that sort of builds you and makes you realize that radio is 24/7. It doesn't have to be breakfast. It doesn't have to be a drive time. It doesn't have to be a prime time show during the week. It can be a weekend show, and you can do well on it.
Because again, it's not about the quantity, because usually if you're going for afternoon 3 to 6 or in the morning 6 to 9, you know that it's a lot of people that are listening. But if your craft is about the quality, you should remain the same regardless whether you're moved from one slot that's popular or another that's not. So that's what I get from you, and it makes sense.
I mean, for me, I've been moved around at Metro. I did different slots at different times. There were times where I would be moved from a slot that I thought was ideal for my growth, and I would feel that I'm moved to a slot that now I feel like it's an emotion, you know, and I had to carry on and do radio, you know, and I had to learn the hard way at a young age that radio is not about you. It's definitely not about you. It's about the listener. You know, so I had to learn back then that it's not always about you.
You learned quite early.
That it's about the listener. So it's going through those rough times and learning and understanding how radio works, especially the business side of it. Obviously nowadays things have changed, things are done differently, but I think it's at most important to go through a vigorous training and for you to understand what you're doing, how you're doing it, and why you're doing it.
Makes sense. So a lot of people might know you from the Romantic Repertoire, which was formerly hosted by Eddie Zondi. May his soul rest in peace. You come in and you take over, right? But take me back to when you found out about his passing. Where were you? How are you finding out?
I remember it was during the week, the 16th of June. Then the day was it was on a Sunday. Eddie did his Sunday show. The 16th of June was on a Monday.
Okay.
And Eddie and I would talk all the time because at that time, while he was doing 9 to midnight, show called The Obsession. He would do 9 to midnight, and I would come in at 12 midnight till 3. After Eddie, and every day I would see him every day. So we were quite close, you know. And I remember on Thursday when I saw him, he was telling me that I need to come to the event that Metro FM was hosting in Soweto. We did an event. I think it's called the Long Walk. Where we were commemorating the 16th of June 1976. So we were gonna walk from one school in Soweto and walk to a certain point, you know, in memory of the class of 76. So he was literally so he told me that, listen, I'll see you at the in Soweto on the 16th. Make sure that you come through. And I said, okay, cool, no, that's fine. I'll see you there. And that was the last time I saw Eddie. Then he did his show on Sunday. Listened to his show on Sunday. But then the following day, the Monday, I get a call from a colleague, and she's frantic. She's like, "But why didn't you tell me? Why didn't I tell you what? Because I just literally woke up. Why didn't I tell you? Why didn't you tell me about Eddie?" I'm like, "Eddie, what about Eddie? You know?" And she broke the news. And she broke the news. And then when she broke the news, at first I thought, nah, man.
Can't be.
It's like saying Michael Jackson has passed on. Michael Jackson doesn't die. What do you mean Eddie has passed on? You know what I mean? And immediately my eyes just glanced over the TV screen, and I saw his face.
Wow.
And it had the year that he was born to that year.
Yeah.
And I was like, it can't be.
Yeah, you still
You
don't
know?
believe it.
And I was like, it can't be. Took my phone, called his phone. It rang. No one picked up. Called again. It rang. No one picked up. Called again. It rang. No one picked up. And I said, no, let me try again. And then I tried again. And then his wife picked up.
Yeah.
You know, for the first time, I called Eddie and somebody else picked up his phone, you know.
Yeah.
And yeah, that's when,
She confirmed.
yeah,
Wow.
you know. And she didn't even say much. Yeah. I just spoke to her and I asked her and she couldn't even respond. Yeah. And that's when I knew
Wow.
that, yeah,
We lost
it's
a
real.
legend.
Yeah, that's when
Yeah.
I knew that it's real, you know.
Quite. Yes.
Yeah.
It doesn't it? I was young, but not that young, so
Yeah.
I was aware.
Yeah.
But it just did not feel real. So I can only imagine on your part.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah. You know, because Eddie was a giant. Eddie was a giant. Eddie was a giant in a sense that he was tall. You know, confident.
Very.
You knew where you stood with him.
Yep.
You know, and he would never compromise in terms of his thoughts. He would tell you what he thinks, and he would never be afraid to say what he thinks.
Yep.
And if he didn't like something, he would tell you. He will always say, "I will always tell you the truth,
Yeah.
whether you like it or not."
Yeah.
But I would have told you the truth.
Even to his audience, let me tell you.
Yeah.
Even to his audience, I'd listen sometimes like, yo, that owner.
Yeah, no. He would
Because
he
you
knew.
take no nonsense.
No,
And also, if we are on time, you better finish.
Exactly,
quick,
exactly.
You know, because
So he knew,
Yeah.
and Eddie was a gentle giant, but he didn't just easily get on with anybody. You know, he had his people, and you knew where you stood,
you
with,
stood
him
with him.
from the word go. He would tell you.
yeah.
Yeah, he would tell you.
Wow.
You know that you're my guy.
Yeah.
And if you're not my guy, you're not my guy.
So now, after his passing, right, that sort of kind of disrupted the love movement. Wilson being go see Paul, then we knew that it was Eddie.
Yeah.
And I remember that after his passing, they didn't immediately replace him. I think they extended the hours
Yes.
so that I think it's who is it that used to do the gospel show?
Tammy.
Tammy.
Yes.
They extended her time.
Yes.
Wilson and then Paul.
Ben Paul, yeah.
But eventually, they replaced him.
Yeah.
And how do you get the call that you are gonna take over the Romantic Repertoire?
You know, at first, after when Eddie passed on, in my head, I never. It was not the first thing that came to mind to say, "Oh shucks, what's gonna happen on Sunday?" You know? It was only during the week while they were planning for his funeral that it dawned on me that no, man,
What are we gonna listen to?
what's going to happen on Sunday? What's going to happen on Sunday going forward? You know, and at that point, there was no replacing Eddie. You can't replace
him.
Eddie.
Yeah.
You know, there was no replacing Eddie. There was no getting a stand in for Eddie. Because how do you get a stand in? How do you get a stand in and for a guy who did a show for almost over 18 years?
Non-stop.
Every Sunday.
Non-stop.
Because at no point would you listen would you tune into Metro FM on a Sunday and Eddie was not there, you know?
Correct.
Eddie would fly in and leave his family while they're on holiday. He would fly in and come and do the show and fly out again to go back and be on holiday. So it was that thing like how do you replace Eddie? How do you stand in for Eddie? And at that point, no one was willing to stand in for Eddie.
I mean,
You know? No,
Yeah.
you know. And it then dawned on me that we have a problem this coming Sunday.
Oof. Yeah.
You know, and I remember that's when the station then decided that, you know, we're gonna let him do his last show, and then they put a show together, and I remember they did it so well, and it was like history. It was like Eddie was like radio history,
Yeah.
and also his passing was like radio history. I mean, he's the first person where you find that he passes on, and all radio stations, not only Metro FM, all
They
radio
acknowledge
stations,
him.
even radio stations outside the SABC, they change their radio format and play what Eddie played. Even for us, it was a wake up call because I knew Eddie was massive,
Yeah.
but I had
To
no
that
idea
extent,
that,
yeah.
oh my goodness,
Yeah.
Eddie was big,
Yeah.
you know. So when I got that call, after, because it was not long
couple of
after
months.
I had passed, a couple of
Yeah.
months after I had passed. When I got that call, the first thing I thought to myself, it's too soon. You know, I thought to myself, it's too soon. And again, hey, why me?
I was about to ask, are you surprised at all that they are
You know,
offering
yeah.
you?
And I thought to myself, it's too soon. But then again, why me? You know, because then it's like, you know, a person, you know that he's a legend. But when he passes on, then you realize that, okay, here's a shoe, it's a size 9. This is a shoe that, you know, you've looked up to, you've listened to this person your whole life, and now you finally get to work with him, you finally get to know him as a colleague, and then he passes on, and then you realize that, no, this shoe that you've always thought that it's a size 9, it's actually a size 27.
Yo.
You see?
Shocking.
You actually realize that it's actually a size 27.
Yo.
It doesn't get bigger than this, you know? And life being life, little do you know, then a couple of months down the line, you'll get that call to say, that size 27, you need to do something about
yours.
it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Here's a size 27, you need to do something about it. I thought to myself, why me? And I couldn't understand, you know. And I remember I had a chat with my colleague who was also quite close with Eddie, Mr. Ngosi, and I told him of what's happening, you know, and he told me that, no, they did let me know that this is what they're thinking and this is what they would like to do, you know. And he was like, I don't think Eddie would be happy with anyone else
But you.
you know. And then I thought, okay, I hear what he's saying, but he's not telling me what I want him to tell me.
Did you want him to say no?
to say, why are they doing this, you know? I'm like, he's not telling me what I want him
into
to
your
tell
doubts.
me. Exactly, you know. And then I spoke to Eddie's wife, and I told her, and she said, yes, they also informed me.
Yo.
And once they informed me that they want you to take over the show, I told them that, knowing Eddie, he would be happy.
Wow.
You know, and it was on those grounds where I realized that, okay, if I don't run with it, somebody else runs with it, and it doesn't work out, he's not gonna be happy with me.
Yeah.
And you don't want Eddie
No.
not to be happy.
No,
with you. He's not gonna be happy
absolutely
with you.
not.
But then again, I realized then that it was also like a sort of a breaking point in my career, where I realized that I need to jump in the ocean and I need to swim.
The Dreamstream Studios in Randburg is a full-service studio on Fisher Drive. It's perfectly suited for podcasts, music recordings, and general video recordings. Being backed up by an experienced editing production team means you can walk in, record, and walk out knowing that everything you need will be done. Dreamstream mobile gear ensures that you can cover your video and live streaming needs on location too. They've got the cameras, the lights, and the action to make you and your brand shine. Contact Dreamstream on studio@dreamstream.co.za and they'll make the magic happen. Dreamstream, a place to create yourself.
This is not the type of show that you go in and even management, when they spoke to me, they were like, look, you understand, this is not the type of show that we don't want you to go there and try and make it work.
It has to work.
It has to work.
Yeah.
You know, it has to work.
Yeah.
So when I got in, I knew, and I was clear in my mind that for Eddie's sake, for his legacy, it's got to work.
So what was your approach going in? Because like you mentioned, this is not a person that you replace.
Yeah.
He was loved by many. And as we've come to know it, radio listeners are very sensitive.
Yeah.
They like who they like.
Yes.
You know?
Yeah.
So knowing that you're not going in there to replace this giant, and knowing that I'm going in there and I might not be received by the audience that, love this love movement from 9 to 6.
Yes.
What was your approach going in?
Back then, when I was thinking about it before I agreed and started planning for the show, because I didn't have much time to put the show together, I realized that it's a show that's not only about Eddie, but I was taking over a show that had a legacy by itself. Because if you think about it, the Romantic Repertoire is the longest standing show on Metro.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, no, it's the longest standing show. In terms of the name, Romeo Kumalo did the Romantic Repertoire.
Yes.
And when Eddie took
read
over
about
from
that,
Romeo
yeah.
Kumalo, he didn't change the name. He stayed the Romantic Repertoire.
Yeah.
Then Eddie did that show
Yeah.
for all those years.
Yeah.
And now here I am. I'm coming on board.
Yeah.
So I realized that, this is not about me. This is a show that is definitely not about me. And first things first, which I agreed with management, is that we're not going to change the name.
Okay.
We want to keep it as the Romantic Repertoire. 1, 2, I was happy because I had no name.
So let's run with this one.
Yeah, I had no name. Because obviously, if I'm going to change the name, I need to come up with something better. I need to come up with something better. But you've had the Romantic Repertoire for all these years, and there hasn't been anything like the Romantic Repertoire. So we kept the name, and then I had to realize that this show is not about me. More than anything, it's about Eddie. So when I went into that show, the first thing that came to mind is I need to make sure that I go for each and every listener that listened to Eddie. I don't want to lose. I don't want to lose a lot of listeners that used to listen to Eddie because now you've got Sentle, and Sentle's here, and he's got his own flavor, and he's got his own way of doing things, and it's either you like it or you don't. It couldn't be about that, because remember, in my case, most of the time you have listeners who are not happy when if let's say you do a show and then they decide, okay, cool, we're gonna move you from this slot to another slot. Listeners go mad.
Yep.
For me, it was the first time that you lose somebody on radio, but you lose somebody on radio on those terms. So it was not a matter of me replacing Eddie because Eddie has retired or Eddie has moved to another radio station. I was taking over Eddie, who was not there.
It was inevitable.
Exactly, So then, and I know what it meant to listeners. So I had to be very cognizant of that and be very mindful in terms of how I approached the show. So I went in and I made the show about the Romantic Repertoire. And that it's still the Romantic Repertoire the way you know it.
The way you love it.
The way you love it.
Yeah.
And because I listened and I learned so much from Eddie, it was like riding a bike again.
It's beautiful.
Very scary, but riding a bike again. But because I know what he taught me. I knew how he would approach the show, his way of thinking. I knew exactly what to do. Yeah. So that was my push. I just went in there and made sure that the show is not about me.
Sure. I have to give you your flowers for this because it was seamless. At least according to me and a close circle of my people.
Yeah.
It was quite seamless the way you took over. And we didn't feel that there's a gap.
Yeah.
You just sort of kind of fit like a glove and like a puzzle to this movement.
Oh, thank you.
So I have to give you your flowers for that, and kudos for you for doing that.
Yeah.
I think you are on your way if you aren't already a legend in your own right.
On my way.
I said on your way because I know how people do not want to acknowledge legendary status, and I get it. It's fine. We'll take on your way.
Yeah.
So the interesting thing I heard the other day, I was listening to Wilson B. Ngosi's interview with David Mashabela.
Yeah.
He said, the thing about radio is not necessarily the music that you play, because anybody can pick up their phone nowadays and decide what they want
What they want to play,
Yeah. It's that radio is so interpersonal.
Yeah.
When you are in studio talking through the mic and it's on the other side, the audience.
Yes.
You must approach it as if you're talking to just that one person.
Yes.
Because now it starts feeling very personal.
Yeah.
Because radio is quite personal.
Exactly.
Right?
Yeah.
And like I said, it's curating the music is all good and well, right? But a person can choose to listen to their own. They can curate their own music, but they choose to tune in because there is something that they like that keeps them coming to listening.
Yeah.
And for a show that is, again, in the love movement way, you play the same song, well, not same all the time, but we have a genre that is specific.
Yes.
And the audience keeps coming over and over again. What is it to you that makes you reconcile with the fact that people keep coming and listening to you guys all the time?
He's right. Radio, it's about connection between you and the listener. And I always take it back to the days while I was still young and I was still listening to radio in my bedroom.
Yeah.
I always picture myself as a listener.
Yeah.
And I take it back to those days because then it's either you connect or you don't connect.
Yeah.
And once you don't connect, you just become... Like radio just becomes an object that's just playing music and it's in the background.
Yeah. Like white noise.
White noise. So I never had that. I would connect with the radio personalities. So you need to connect with your listeners. And I think the most basic thing that you can do on air or whenever you switch on the mic is for you to realize that it's not about you. Make it about the listener. It's not about you. Make it about the listener. That's the most quickest way to actually connect with the listener. And listeners can pick it up. And it makes it easier for you to connect with the listener.
Yeah.
So and I mean for us, the love movement at Metro, it's like the love movement alone is like an institution.
It is. Yeah.
Before I got into the love movement, I know there's tons and tons of people who would love to be part of the love movement. There's tons and tons of people who would love to do radio on a Sunday on Metro, So even when Eddie, Paul, and Wilson, while they were doing the love movement as a trio, they did radio differently. They did radio differently. They had an unspoken culture of how they do radio. I know all three of them at any given time on a Sunday, they'll always make sure that they're at work. During the week, guys, Saturday, or even other radio stations when you listen, it's like a normal thing that he's not in today. Sentle is in for him. You know, even for me while I was in Metro, I would stand in for a whole lot of guys.
Yeah.
You know that I'm in for so and so because they're not in today. It's a norm. That never happens on a Sunday.
Yep.
You know,
That's true.
not on a Sunday.
Yeah.
You know, not on a Sunday, and it's not a station policy, but it's a culture that they created. It's like a badge that you wear, and you wear that badge with honor. That every Sunday you show up.
Yeah.
And who are you showing up for? The listener.
The listener. Yeah.
The listener have an expectation that when they wake up on a Sunday morning preparing for church, all they hear is sounds and stuff like that with Wilson Bingos.
Yeah.
Nothing else. They are not going to hear poetry in motion being done by someone. It's
Yeah.
foreign. It
Yeah.
doesn't work.
Yeah.
You know? And it's something that they've done so for years. And that's how they approach radio. And that's one of the things that will keep listeners coming back because you are loyal to your listeners. You don't take them for granted just by doing that. You show that you don't take them for granted, you know, and you simply say that it's not about me, it's about you. And if you are going to tune in and give me space in your house, give me space in your car, and give me your ears,
Yeah.
I'm going to show up. And I'm going to show up, and I'm going to not just show up, I'm going to deliver.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know, you put it into perspective that it's a culture, because actually to us, we expect to hear the love movement as it is, but we never actually question what would happen if Sentle fell sick and somebody had to come in.
You know, yeah.
I mean, it would be so jarring
Yeah,
as a
yeah,
listener,
yeah.
because what is this? You're disrupting the flow.
The flow, yes,
Yeah.
yes.
So funny. So obviously the love movement, like I said, is quite genre specific. You're talking about the blues, soul. And South Africans consume a lot of that.
Yes.
They love R&B.
Yeah,
We
yeah.
love R&B. And I guess this is why the legacy acts from back then come and tour in South Africa, because there is still demand and an appetite for that.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I think the most ironic thing, though, is that the genre, in terms of us producing it as
Yes.
an R&B artist,
Yeah.
it's not a lot.
No.
Why do you think that is?
I also don't know why, but I know there's quite a couple of South African artists who are excellent when it comes to soul and R&B. But one thing that I've also realized that we move with the times. There was a time where I remember where we moved from bubblegum to Kwaito, and Kwaito took over, and everybody was listening to
Yeah.
Kwaito. We loved Kwaito. We loved the TKZ. But come Sunday,
Yeah.
come Sunday.
Yeah.
Come Sunday, we go back to we go back to basics.
Yeah,
You know.
yeah.
So if you think about it, soul and R&B has always been there, because we call it evergreen,
Yeah.
because it's the type of music that tells a story for you, because it's not like playing a song. If you play a song, there's a story behind it. It's either you love this song because your parents used to play a record or an LP of that song every day, every Sunday, all the time. You used to hate that song because they would just play that song all the time.
Yeah.
You listen to the OJs all the time. But here you are, you're grown. That song plays. It tells a story.
Of course.
It takes you back. It takes you back to the good old days where you had no bond.
Oh
You
my
had no
gosh.
car installment.
It was nice.
And all you had to worry about was making sure that you get good marks at school.
Yeah.
You know, it takes you back there. That's a story behind it. You listen to this song, it reminds you of either your first breakup, your
crush.
first crush. So there's a story behind it.
Yeah.
As in, if you listen to a new song, it's a song, you love it. It's a great song. It sounds fresh. You love it, but there's no story. There's no story behind it. And hence, when we do Sunday radio, we don't only play music, and even how you put the music together. You don't just put the music together as in you with a chakalaka. No. I want to talk to your emotions.
Yeah.
So if you play a song, you need to know why you're playing that song, and you need to know why you're going to play the next song. Because I am talking to your emotions.
Yeah.
I'm evoking those emotions, and also bearing in mind that I'm telling the story. I'm taking you back there. So I think that's the thing that keeps soul and R&B relevant. We've moved from Kwaito. There's been Gom. There's Doom.
Yeah.
There's now my piano. Which we love and we appreciate.
Yeah.
But you still go back,
You still go back.
and it's like an evergreen tree that's just there,
For sure.
and it keeps growing, and it's always there. No matter which direction the wind blows, it's there.
I 100% agree.
Yeah.
So before I let you go, we briefly spoke about this, and I would do a disservice if I don't bring this up.
Okay.
Your take on AI.
Yeah.
You said that you played AI songs on radio.
Yeah.
What is it? What is it about AI that you feel? Okay, let me phrase it this way. It's controversial right now because these are uncharted territories, right? We all don't know. It's not regulated. We don't. Art is art. If something is good, can't you just enjoy it?
Yes.
Or but if it's made by a tool, is it really art?
Yes.
Do you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So, what's your take on it? Granted that you've played AI music on
You
your
know,
show.
I remember the first time I found out about AI. How I found out about AI is that I heard a song, and I heard this song for the first time, and I was like, "My goodness, this is a beautiful song." And I tried to check for this artist, but I can't find this artist anyway. There's no info about this artist. And I couldn't understand, but how come?
Yeah.
But it's a beautiful song, And what I realized about AI, I think it's got to do with someone who realized and they found a gap. Someone who realized that there's a certain era of music and a certain way of doing music that people enjoyed, and we've since moved away from that. But that gap is still there.
Okay.
That gap is still there, especially when it comes to certain artists. And they just went there and they went for that gap. And people are appreciating it. How I felt about it the first time when I realized that, the first time I learned that, no, it's actually AI. There's no human factor that actually sings the song. There's no Tony Braxton that's actually singing the song. I don't know. I felt like, I'm not sure now.
Yeah,
I'm
yeah.
like, I'm not sure how I feel about it.
Yeah.
Knowing that there was no human that put emotion, heart, soul, and mind on the song. And I suppose which is what the problem is for a lot of people to say that. But there's no human saying here. It's a machine.
Yeah.
And even now, I still do sometimes feel like, hey, but how can something be so beautiful not have a human factor?
Why did you take the decision to actually play it?
I got to a point where I realized that, you know what, yes, there's no human factor singing the song, but when I listen to the song, I wish that you could have artists who would go and revisit that era and do music that way.
Okay.
I wish that, because it's beautiful, and I figured if something is beautiful and it's good to the ear and you love hearing it, why not?
Why not?
Because if you think about it, if it's the way that things are going, chances are we're gonna get more of these, and I know that it's not a great thing for artists. It's not a great thing, and I would understand why it's not a great thing. You know what I mean? But if it's the way things are going, it basically means that even artists as well need to realize that, and we gotta adapt and find a way to to make things work.
Yeah.
In a certain way.
I hear you. And unfortunately, we don't have too much time because I would challenge you just a bit because I have certain reservations.
Okay.
But what I do agree with is that we do ought to be adaptable and things evolved.
Yeah.
Culture evolves.
Yeah.
Everything evolves.
Yeah.
So we do need to move with the time.
Yeah.
But I do feel like everything in moderation, including moderation itself, right?
True.
But it's fine. It'll be a topic for another day.
Yeah.
On the topic of what is art and what is not art, the staple of a staple question on this show is, what is art to you? So I'd like to know, what is art to you?
For me, art is the best way for one to express themselves. And we all express ourselves differently, I think that is art. If you're an artist and you're into drawing, you might not be a great speaker, but the moment you put that pencil on paper, that's you communication. That's you conversing.
Yeah.
That's you expressing how you feel.
Yeah.
Art it's the best way for one to express themselves. And yes, it's true, we express ourselves differently. It's like having a drummer. I work with a brilliant drummer. His name is Kamu. Kamu doesn't talk much. He's not much of a talker. In fact, he's very shy. But boy, wait up until he gets on those drums.
Yeah.
Wait up until
Then you will
get
hear
on.
him.
That's where
alive.
that's where his personality or his other personality that you don't know of, it comes alive, and that's art. And that's art. So I think that's what art is. We express it in different ways, but
100%,
it's a way of expression.
Yeah. I concur.
Yeah.
So before I let you go,
Okay.
we have come to the end of our interview. But before that, just a couple of questions that I would like to ask you. This is just like an imaginary world, right?
Okay.
The love movement. It's you, Paul, and Wilson, right?
Yeah.
If you were to do your own succession plan, who would you put in those 3 slots? The people that you like, listen to, maybe upcoming DJs, or even if it's not, but like, who would you put
In those slots? Just Ice.
Just Ice?
Just Ice.
I've never heard of them.
Just Ice. He's on Radio 2000.
Okay.
Just Ice, I think, is one of the most, unfortunately, but he's one of the most underrated radio presenters. And
I'll check him out. It's a him, right?
It's a
okay,
him.
yes.
That Justice Ramotlola character, he's dangerous.
Yes.
He's dangerous.
Where
I
are we
think.
placing them?
Let me see.
9 to 12?
Yeah, I think Just Ice can do 9 to 12. Just Ice can do 3 to 6.
Okay.
Just Ice. Who else?
12 to 3?
12 to 3. If it's not Paul.
If it's not Paul, of course.
Who would be on 12 to 3 if it's not Paul? Let me think about this nicely. Bambo Johnson.
Okay. Why is
Bambo
that?
Johnson. Bambo Johnson is brilliant. Bambo Johnson. And then in the morning, if it's not Wilson, oh my goodness.
Heavy.
If it's not Wilson, I'll have to go and get another Wilson.
Okay, we'll leave it at that. We'll leave it at that. It's fine. Okay, one more question.
Wilson, yeah.
If you had to produce an album,
Yeah.
and you put a few artists that you love on the album, let's say R&B to be specific, just name 5 artists that you'd put there, whether living or otherwise.
If I had to do my own compilation, Luther Vandross,
Of course.
Michael Jackson,
Of course.
Chris Walker,
Yes.
Roberta Flack,
Yes.
there's so many.
Last one.
like I'll have to take three: Anita Baker, Jimmy Bell, and Whitney Houston.
Okay, we'll put them together because they are
Them together,
yeah,
So
they are
that's
women.
quite
I think,
yeah. No,
I don't
definitely.
know how true it is, but I've heard that actually the love movement has never gone by without playing a Luther Vandross song. Is that true?
That's true.
Wow.
That's true. But it's also, even for the Romantic Repertoire, Eddie never did a show without playing
Wow, I
a
never
Luther Vandross.
noticed.
Yeah,
That
yeah,
is crazy.
yeah. The love movement has got its base.
Now, when you said it's a culture, I really
Yeah,
believe
yes,
it's more so.
it's
It's
got its
more so
base. Yeah,
apparent. Yeah.
it's got its base, and each and every show, has got a certain base of artists that actually make the show. You see what I mean? Yeah. So Luther Vandross, Howard Hewitt, you Phil Perry. There's a certain number of artists that would definitely be there
We
within
will
the
hear a
mix.
song
Just to
for
you will
sure.
hear a song, or you
Yeah.
will hear a song that features that artist. Yeah.
That's beautiful.
Yeah.
Okay, one last one.
Okay.
This is partly inspired by Eddie Zondi's last show.
Okay.
It's true what they say that art imitates life, right? Because his last song was "This is the last time"
Yeah.
by Teddy Pendergrass, right? And also inspired by the fact that more often than not in radio personalities hardly ever get the chance to say goodbye to
Yes.
their listeners. But if you had the chance to, what's that song that you would want to usher you out? The last song.
This is the most difficult question I've ever been asked, because
Oh, great.
I've never thought of my ushering out.
I know. It's actually,
Yeah, I've never thought of that. And there's quite a lot, hey? I would say the show goes on.
The show
by
goes
Blue Zone
on.
and the range. Yeah, the show goes on, because it would definitely say that yes, I'm out,
But the show
the
goes
show-
on.
the show
Yeah.
goes on,
Yeah, I
yeah.
love that.
yeah, the show goes on.
Yeah, no, the
yeah.
show does go on.
It does go on.
Even when we are coming to an end, but the show
So
goes on.
Yeah. So it would definitely be that
Yeah.
song,
So before letting you go, talk to me about your future projects. I know you do a gig as well.
Yeah.
Where are you? Where can we expect to see you besides the Romantic Repertoire every
Well-
Sunday 3 to 6?
Well, we've recently started a YouTube channel.
Yes.
Sentle Lehoko. So basically, the whole concept is we look for, I always say, enchanted territories, but we look for locations.
Okay.
Locations that are quite tough to get to, and we take soul and R&B there. We've already recorded. We've got 2 episodes now: Soul in Nature 1 and Soul in Nature 2. And why Soul in Nature is that we took soul and we took it to nature, like right in the jungle.
Okay.
And obviously, because of the landscape, and because how nature is, because how beautiful it is, and because of the type of music that we play, it was easy for me to be able to take that and merge it with nature.
Awesome.
You know what I
Yeah.
mean. If you look at a Celine Dion video, if you look at a Robert Kelly video,
Yeah.
where they play inspirational music, how they do the videos, and where they set the videos, you can see that it's quite inspirational, and they use nature as
Yeah.
part of it. Even a lot of our gospels, our
That's
gospel
true.
artists,
Yeah.
they use that type of setup too. So I decided, okay, let's take soul and take it into nature.
That's
You
beautiful.
know, so
do you have an audience there, or do you just do it you and the camera?
no, it's just me, my drummer,
Okay.
and nature. No
Okay.
audience whatsoever. Although we've received a lot of requests, a lot of
okay.
requests to say, look, we would love to be there, and we're currently looking at it, to say, at some point we'll do quite a number of episodes with having audiences there to come
really
and experience.
Yeah.
Yeah, but at the moment, so far, it's all about finding the right location, and every time we do it, you wonder where we are,
Yeah.
and doing it.
Nice. That'd be great because it'd be like our own little tiny disc.
Yes,
African
so
version
so to
of
say,
it.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
All right.
And obviously as time moves on, getting artists to come through and join us,
Yeah.
and that would be that's the idea.
Yeah,
Going
I think
forward.
I think that would be awesome.
Yeah,
We look forward
yeah,
to
yeah. No, I'm
seeing
loving
that.
it. I'm loving
Yeah.
it. Yeah.
Well, thank you for
Thank you so
joining us
much for
today.
having me.
This was great. I love it. I feel like it was actually short.
I know.
But maybe, we'll have you next time and speak more comprehensively about certain subjects that we couldn't get deeper
We couldn't
into.
get to it. I know we need to go to that AI issue.
I know.
We'll sort it out.
All right, but thank you for joining us today. It's a pleasure.
Thank you so much for having me. This was my first podcast.
Yes,
and
I'm so geeked about it.
And I'm glad that I did it here for the first time.
Yo, I am so honored that it is your first podcast because, oh my gosh, to me you are a legend. Even though you're saying you are on your way there, to me you are. I mean, I've been listening to you ever since I was really young.
Yeah.
So that thing of the person behind this voice.
Yes.
It's
it's finally,
testament to this today.
I just hope that it didn't shock you, but yeah.
No. See, social media ruined it for me. Yeah, unfortunately.
Yeah. Sorry about that.
But I feel like even if it was not that, I wouldn't be shocked. So you don't have a face for radio. So
okay.
I wouldn't be shocked.
Appreciate it.
I think your voice fits you.
Okay, no, perfect.
So it's not shocking at all.
At least we've got something that works.
But if you do feel otherwise, if you are shocked, do let me know in the comments. And do share with your friends, your family, your co-workers. Let me know what you think of this episode, and we'll see you on the next one.